there are windows of opportunity that open and close. And if you can't act quickly when the window opens, the last time the window was open was in 2008. And some people would say that ACA was the best option that could be passed at that time. And other people would say that it was not bold enough and we should have gone much further.
So my wife and I were very involved in the marriage equality battle. And I will say that if you just had a group, we all just said, oh, let's just stop at civil unions, and you didn't have a group that was constantly trying to push for something greater, maybe you would stop at civil unions. And I think it's important to have both. I think it's important to have somebody who understands the policy and what's realistically possible now, but then still have continued pressure to fight for something greater. If you don't do that, then you stop at that.
So I'll put it in even more personal terms. I'm a huge Beatles fan. Have been since I was a kid and saw them on the Ed Sullivan Show. I was instantly hooked. And I've read a lot of books about the Beatles. You need John and you need Paul. John was this passionate force that said, I'm going to be a star and we're going to do something big. And he got people to follow him. But Paul was the guy in the studio who said, we got to make this perfect. It's not good enough just to capture the energy. I want all of these notes. I want every note to be perfect. I want, because we're putting this down on record. So it's just two sides of, you know, and hopefully they're complementary, but it's just different perspectives.
But there's no Yoko between us.
Yeah, there's no Yoko. Well, the band broke up a long time ago, but that's another story. We can't talk about that.
So now that we've relatively established your guys' bromance, how often do you guys find yourself at conferences, or, I mean, you were on a debate show with Dr. Song with that?
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul. How often today do you guys find yourself at a table with the opposition or interacting directly with the opposition?
Not too often.
Less so now today than maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
No, I would say it doesn't change. Part of it is because I am not convinced in media, well, I'll just say in the media, and so I do a lot of media relations. I find most media formats staged and not true debate. And so I tend to avoid deliberately participating in what I feel are staged, you know, pro versus, you know, because I just don't feel that it's useful. I don't feel like there's real debate. You get to spout your talking points, nobody's listening, and the network can say, well, we have a balanced perspective. And I watch those shows myself, but I don't feel that that's a useful role for me to play. So as a result, I'm not engaging at that level. Then in professional conferences or whatever, frankly, the conferences that I attend, I won't say that everybody's a single payer advocate, but people tend to be supportive of universal coverage, even if it's not single payer.
So I still debate, less so now, but I'll go to the Cato Institute and debate their head of medical policy there. I will go, there's a very conservative doctors group called the Benjamin Rush Society, and they tout free market solutions for healthcare, and Beth Haynes is the president, and I debated her up and down the state, and in New York and elsewhere. So I'll debate any time just on that, but what's really interesting is I used to just have to debate the right, but now I have to debate the moderate Dems who were constantly trying to undermine any attempt towards single payer. And getting back to that whole money in politics, there was a big article 2 days ago in The Nation that the DCCC, which is the group that elects members to Congress, just took a huge amount of money from a health insurance lobbyist. So, you know, they're not going to be trying to elect candidates who are out there proposing Medicare for all. So it's interesting that now I'm having to debate more on that side than before, which was primarily with people who are free market, no government interference.
And if that's all the questions, thank you so much.